Food for Change comes at food from two angles. One is using food as an agent for change in the community, but also saying that we need to have a look at our food system and perhaps make some changes there.
Any opportunity to get people enthusiastic about growing food is a good one, and this is the perspective of youth, of fresh ideas. It's a great way to view a problem and then take it to another level with new opportunities.
Always fantastic to hear the fresh ideas from students, the students who come in from both local students but students from other campuses and international students bring a different perspective. The students always are enthusiastic and bring different ways of thinking to problems, and I think that's what's most exciting about the City Studio projects.
The students really grabbed it and ran with it. There was so much passion in there around not only how food could change people and lift them up perhaps out of disadvantage or help them to eat healthier. So the insights around that and how we could tackle that through mobile gardens or changing urban space to make healthy food more accessible. That they were just fantastic insights the students were able to provide and provide in a really quick way that sometimes local government can't do. To have students from IT, planning, public health, arts, to have them all tackling the same issue at once together brings out insights that perhaps you wouldn't get otherwise.
It gets students out of the classroom, it gets students away from subjects that are dreamed up by academics to actually then being, I guess, the curators of their own learning, and that co-learning model with the community is extremely valuable. I think they get more from that than something that's given to them on a piece of paper to go and explore and investigate. I think it gives them a lot more satisfaction than they could from just receiving a grade from me. Yeah.
I picked up City Studio because I had friends who are in my same course who did it last year and they really benefited from it. And working with council is really good for me and the industry that I'm moving into. I was thinking, I think as a lot of people do, about the consumption of food and food as a business, and not so much as food production and food waste, which were also really big parts of what we did. It was really interesting to look at the whole system throughout the program. I think I've learned a lot about teamwork and how I work as part of a team. I've also learnt a lot more about what Bendigo has to offer. There was a lot of things that I didn't realise about Bendigo, not just in food, but the way council works and all of those kinds of things, that I think I'll look at Bendigo really differently and I'll take into my course as I go along as well. So our prototype in the end was to reinvigorate the Mall through making it an event space for food events and also a dining precinct.
When we spoke about food, the first things we pop up in our mind is how we consume food, and we got food from a supermarket, and that was it. But after I joined this program, these subjects, I started to understand that food, when we're speaking of food, food is the entire system. How does food impact our daily life? How does food bring people together? These subjects really give you that exposure to, give you the opportunity to speak to different group of people, councils, farmers, and we have been to different places. And this place that we would have never been to if we didn't enroll this subject. What we have done here, we constantly got feedback from councils and the local community. I think that this is a key difference between university assessments and this subject.
Because I'm a third year student now and I've lived in Melbourne for 3 years, so I think it's a good opportunity to just move in Bendigo for 5 weeks to see what's the different geography from Melbourne and Bendigo. During City Studio, we had dialogue with professionals from local community and even the city councils that gave us advice or feedback for what's going on in our project, which we can't get that information experience from the university learning. So I think that's the best things from City Studio.
Really wanted to get some practical experience instead of the typical, lecture tutorial subject. I thought it was a great idea to immerse myself in practical work. As a public health student, I think it was a great experience working with council because that's definitely an area that I would like to explore once I'm finished my degree. We targeted the issues Bendigo is facing on food insecurity, and we wanted to come up with a project that would educate people and empower the community, promote awareness around healthy eating and access to food. It's great that so many people from different disciplines can get so much out of this subject. I would definitely recommend it to anyone who's interested in getting practical experience and working with council and community. I think it's really exciting that La Trobe is taking this on.